Everyone is watching Tesla. But while the world was distracted by Cybertrucks, flamethrowers, and Elon's Twitter antics, a quiet storm was brewing across the Pacific. A company no one in the West could pronounce, doing something no one in Silicon Valley could see coming. Build your dreams. BYD, a former battery maker with no history in car manufacturing, has now surpassed Tesla in electric vehicle sales. But this isn't just about one company beating another. This is about an entirely different model of innovation. One that doesn't rely on hype, influencers, or viral product launches. It's methodical, it's disciplined, it's brutal, and it's coming for everything. So how did BYD go from a dirt floor workshop in Shenzhen to becoming the world's biggest electric vehicle manufacturer? And what does it say about the future of industrial dominance in the 21st century? Okay, well, first of all, let's rewind, back to where no one was paying attention. It's 1995, in Shenzhen, China. A chaotic sprawl of unfinished buildings, rusted machinery, and factory fumes. Not a single skyscraper in sight. No Tesla, no Apple stores, just steel, sweat, and smog. And in the middle of all of this, a 29-year-old engineer named Wang Xuanfu is pacing inside a tiny rented building. He is surrounded by tools, wires, and a team of barely 20 employees. But he's not thinking about cars, he's thinking about batteries. Back then, China imported nearly all its rechargeable batteries from Japan. They were expensive, slow to arrive, and built by foreign giants like Sanyo and Sony. Wang believed that Chinese engineers could do it cheaper and better. And if they could control the supply chain from end to end, they could build anything. And so, he launched a tiny battery startup and called it BYD. Build your dreams. A name so cheesy, even local banks thought it was a joke. But Wang wasn't joking. He was building something that no one could see yet. Over the next 10 years, BYD grew like a machine. Not by raising VC money, not by flashing markets, they grew by grinding. They reverse engineered Japanese battery tech. They built every part in-house. And by the early 2000s, they were quietly supplying batteries to Motorola, Nokia, and Samsung, powering almost every mobile phone in the world. And then Wang made a move that no one could understand. In 2003, BYD, the then battery company, suddenly bought a failing state-owned automaker called Sichuan Auto. It had no future, no tech, and a lineup of embarrassingly bad cars. Everyone said he was crazy. Even BYD's own executives were confused. Why was a battery company buying a dying car brand? Well, evidently it was because Wang was not thinking about profits. He was thinking about control. It turns out he wanted to own the entire electric vehicle ecosystem before anyone even realized there would be one. That same year, a little-known startup in California, well, you might have heard of it, it's named Tesla Motors, it was founded. Two companies, worlds apart. One backed by Silicon Valley investors and dreams of zero-emission sports cars, the other crawling out of the Chinese manufacturing mud with battery acid under its fingernails. But here is where the story is split. Tesla went all in on innovation, sleek design, autonomous driving, over-the-air updates. It seemed as though it wanted to be Apple on wheels. And Elon Musk? He was the showman, selling the future before it even existed. And BYD? Well, it kept its head down for the time being. No press tours, no launches from space, just factories, more and more factories, and a relentless obsession with one big thing, building everything in-house. While Tesla outsourced key components like chips and battery cells, BYD internalized everything. Semiconductors, they made them. Battery packs, they built them. Even their own software and operating systems. By 2008, when Tesla was struggling to survive the financial crash, BYD was already releasing its first plug-in hybrid. It wasn't at all pretty nor powerful, but it worked, and it sold. But then, something strange happened. Warren Buffett, an American billionaire investor, bought in. In 2018, legendary Warren Buffett made a move no one expected. He bought 10% of BYD for $230 million. To most people, BYD was an obscure Chinese battery company dabbling in cars. But Buffett saw something else. He saw a moat. In business, a moat is what protects you from competitors. And BYD's moat was massive, full vertical integration. Basically, they didn't rely on anyone else to build their cars. Compare that to Tesla, still dependent on Panasonic for battery cells at the time. Buffett's move put BYD on the global map. And for Wang Chuanfu, instead of gloating, he doubled down. More factories, more research and development, and more ruthless efficiency. Now fast forward to the 2010s. While Tesla was dominating headlines with the Model S and launching supercharger networks, BYD was quietly expanding in a totally different direction. Public transportation, electric buses, hundreds of them, then thousands, rolling out in cities across China, and eventually landing in Los Angeles, London, and Bogota. While the West focused on high-end electric vehicles for tech bros and early adopters, BYD was electrifying fleets, school buses, taxis, city vehicles. It wasn't glamorous, but it was effective. And here is the genius part. Every bus BYD sold was like a billboard for their battery tech. One heck of an effective way of advertising. Mayors saw them, transit agencies noticed. Suddenly, governments were calling BYD, not Tesla, to electrify their cities. And while all that was happening, China changed the game. In the late 2010s, China made electric vehicles a national priority. The government rolled out a massive subsidies, tax breaks, and infrastructure spending. Charging stations popped up everywhere. Local automakers were pushed to innovate, and BYD was first in line. While American automakers were still debating whether electric vehicles were the future, China had already decided. And BYD, of course, had home field advantage. By 2020, BYD wasn't just making cars, it was pioneering blade batteries, which are a new lithium iron phosphate design that did not catch fire, lasted longer, and was cheaper to produce than traditional cells. Meanwhile, Tesla was still importing batteries from suppliers and dealing with recalls. And then, something unthinkable happened. In the fourth quarter of 2023, BYD overtook Tesla as the world's top seller of electric vehicles. Not just in China, globally. The company that started in a dingy warehouse with 20 engineers had surpassed Elon Musk's empire. And they did it without hype, without a single meme, without ever going viral. They did it by mastering what most people ignore: logistics, manufacturing, supply chain control, and pricing. When Tesla pushed $50,000 plus sedans, BYD released the Seagull, a sleek, full electric, for only $11,000. That was not just competition, it was annihilation. And it sent shockwave throughout cities all over the world. Suddenly, everyone had the same terrifying thought. What if BYD does to cars what Huawei almost did to phones? You see, this isn't just a story about a car company. It's a story about a philosophy of building. In the West, innovation often means software, branding, and disruption. You raise funding, build hype, launch fast, and iterate. But in China, especially at BYD, innovation means ownership. Ownership of the tools, the parts, the factories, the whole process. It's not sexy, but it scales. And now, the world is seeing the results. BYD is shipping cars to more than 70 countries around the globe. It's building its factories in Brazil, Thailand, Hungary, and even Mexico, right on America's doorstep. And it's not just chasing Tesla anymore, It's threatening Toyota, Ford, Volkswagen, the entire legacy auto industry. Even Apple, once planning its own electric vehicle, quietly killed the project because it realized that car market had already become a battlefield and BYD was already entrenched. But of course, to every story there's always a dark side. As BYD rises, the geopolitical tension rises with it. The West is waking up to a new kind of dependence, not just on Chinese chips or solar panels, but on Chinese cars. The European Union is investigating Chinese electric vehicle subsidies. And more recently, the United States is mulling tariffs to block BYD from entering the market. And politicians are warning about data collection, surveillance, and national security risks. Because BYD cars aren't just cars, they're smart devices, loaded with sensors, GPS, and internet connectivity. Imagine millions of them driving through American cities, sending data back to, well, who knows to whom. Well, at least that's how some politicians are thinking. So now the battle isn't just commercial, it's political. And so now the question isn't just can BYD win, it's can anyone stop them? As Wang Chuang-fu once said, we don't build dreams with words, we build them with our hands. And that's exactly what he did. While Silicon Valley chased virality, BYD chased scale. While Tesla dominated headlines, BYD dominated supply chains. And while the West debated the future, BYD built it. Quietly, relentlessly, and now undeniably. The next time you hear someone say Tesla is the king of electric vehicles, remember this. In the world's biggest car market, Tesla isn't number one. BYD is. And they're not stopping there. Now tell us what you think. Do you believe that BYD is capable of withstanding all these obstacles? Will it continue this dominance? Or will it fail or become history like many other Chinese companies who tried before? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell.